Hello, friends. Welcome to Thursday. It looks like we've got our magic tower back for the second time. So let's take a peek at what we have today. And it looks like they are introducing two new characters. Well, technically one new one costume. So we'll get into that. The first one up is Zazha. Anyway, she looks interesting. Yellow Magic Carpet Hero Sorcerer class. Just a reminder, the Magic Carpet Hero has the full flight momentum. This is a really cool ability for a family bonus. The hero starts with the full flight momentum. At the end of each turn, when taking damage, the hero loses a small amount of flight momentum. When casting their special skill, hero gains flight momentum. And then it says slower heroes gain increased amount of flight momentum. All right, let's get into the passives. What is flight momentum? If this character has any amount of flight momentum they receive, up to 35% mana generation, up to 25% extra chance to dodge, and effects diminish the less flight momentum the character has. So extra mana gen, extra dodge. Pretty cool way to start the fight to make sure that you're casting your specials, dodging attacks, staying alive, all that fun stuff. This passive, the weaker Mega Minions, this is huge. The meta is absolutely overrun with Garrison Guards and their Mega Minions at current. This passive allows Mega Minions to have negative 75% HP. You basically chop the Mega Minion right down to the size of a pretty standard minion, except they can only have one. Very easy to kill through them at that point. I highly recommend everyone who can collect one of these Magic Tower heroes. Great, go ahead and do it. Like, this passive is huge for our meta. We also have our special boost here, which is going to increase the damage of special skills for the first 6 turns. And finally, we'll get into their special at fast speed. We have Soaring Blast. All ailments affecting attack, defense, and mana generation on the caster are replaced with matching undispellable buffs. Also deals 620% damage to the target and boosts all allies' health by 26% of the damage dealt. Okay, so we're dealing with a single target here. She's a... You know what? She seems at first like a very selfish individual because all of her special seems to affect herself. She's flipping her debuffs into buffs. She's hitting a single target for a nice strong sniper hit. So you're not getting a lot of like group effects here. However, the last thing that she does is the all allies get boosted health for 26% of the damage dealt. So at the end, she's like, you know what? I did not forget about you guys. Here is a little bit of heal. Let's go over the fact that damage healers are always helpful to have in your party. I think that gives her a bit of a boost. One thing to note is she only targets one target. So when you're doing 26% of the hit on one target, let's say she does, for ease sake, 1600 damage to the target. Well, you're going to have to take about 25% of that, so chop it in 4. You're looking at like 400, maybe 425 boosted health she's given to the whole party. It's not a massive heal, but it is a nice little band-aid, and boosted health means it could even stack on top of max health, so you can get that little extra cushion. I do like her, especially running at fast speed. I think she's a very good sniper. She's got the Mega Minion counter. Like, if you pull her, that's great. I would say she's, um, like, if I had to rate her on a scale of 1 to 10, 7 being a pretty average hero that they newly release, I'd say she went slightly above average at this point due to her counters and everything like that. Let's give her an 8. Normally, I'd say she's around a 7 as a single target sniper, but again, this passive of fighting the Mega Minions, the little additional healing will bump her up in the 8 range. All right, now let's take a look at our costume today. We have Agrafena. So we got ourselves a purple sorcerer here. She is from the magic family, so she gets a 50, 75, 100% chance to cast plus 5% mana generation stack on a random ally when this hero casts their special, max stack of 10. It's a cool ability, but really, how many times are you going to get this ability off? So, with that in mind, I don't know if that makes a huge difference on things. Then let's go into passives here. We have damage on special. When this character casts their special skill, they have a 60% chance to deal 150% damage to all enemies. If the special skill is fully charged, it's a 100% chance. So, a chance to do a little bit extra damage to all, that's not bad. The weaker Mega Minions. Okay, once again, this passive, absolutely massive. I would probably level this chick regardless just for that passive if I pull her, so keep that in mind. Special armor, that's going to go ahead and give us a boost against special attacks for the first 6 turns. No complaints there. Now let's get into her special skill. It's running at magic speed. So important to understand about magic speed is it basically changes your specials from the first one cast at very fast to the second one casting at very slow. So it's annoying that they did that because the second tier is usually way better, but getting to it can be a big challenge. So I tend to focus on their first tier for these characters, and then if I'm lucky enough to get to the second tier, that's a bonus. So let's get into it. All right, so the first tier we have a mana charge times 1. All enemies get negative 27% attack for 3 turns. Then all enemies get negative 27% defense for 3 turns. All enemies receive 471 poison damage over 3 turns. Okay, so a double debuff, a pretty insignificant amount of poison damage over 3 turns. Um, I wouldn't say her first tier is very exciting, so let's look into the second tier. All allies get plus 50% attack and a further 20% increase each time they are hit for 6 turns up to 150% attack. Then all allies get plus 59% defense and a further 5% increase for 6 turns up to 84% defense. All allies regenerate 1500 boosted health over 6 turns. Boosted health can exceed max HP. Alright, so her second tier is obviously more exciting, but it kind of does the flip, right? It does a double buff, and then it gives you a heal over time instead of a damage over time on them. I do think it would be nice to hunt the second tier on this character, but like, just remember that's going to take a while. I'm not sure if I love this character for raids and war, but she might make a very interesting Titan character on her second tier, boosting everyone's attack up by possible 150%, giving you an additional 84% defense to survive the swipes coming at you from the Titan, and all allies regenerate boosted health over 6 turns. So, um, yeah, I don't know. Like, as I don't love this character. I feel like the way that she's set up, I can only give her currently a 6 out of 10. I would honestly put her at a 5 out of 10, but that weaker Mega Minions means that she will probably still find a place in people's teams. They'll just have to work with her special as much as they can. So I do recommend using this girl if you pull her, but she's certainly no Melina that we saw last month. So keep that in mind, and I hope you all have a wonderful day, and we'll catch up next time.